Clemson comes in on New Year's Eve. Anthony Eads gets us underway, working with Tim Clockerty and Roger Ayers. And let's go right away into Kyle, who is sandwiched by two players on this small Lakers lineup. Sadiq White can't get it down, and on second effort does convert. J.J. Starling coming off a season-high 15 points. Banks in his first two here tonight. Got off to a very hot start. Previous 6 games in a row he was consistent. Scored between 10 and 12 points. Had 10 early Saturday. Wound up with 15. There's one pinned against the window. Mercyhurst, they'll show it some. George converts on his first shot from the field. Naithan George coming off a scoreless performance. He's been a bit under the weather. Didn't score in 22 minutes against Hofstra. Tony Blunt to answer, and that hits with a thud, but an offensive board. Back to Blunt, and it's there. It's that's more nerve-wracking than playing, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what an unbelievable feeling to be able to watch your son play.
A turnover in the transition game. Mercyhurst almost gave it back. Pass to Martin, hit him in the chest. Lemelman, a three. And Tyler Betsy, first subs of the game for Syracuse, as Sadiq White and William Kyle sit. King's off the mark, but Starling puts it back and one.
And then if we do miss a shot, I'm attacking the board. You see JJ right here doing a good job on the offensive glass. And follow through is this one motion. He just has to go up there and be confident when he's shooting the ball.
Syracuse likes to press. I think the players get energy out of it. This time, Soiree struggled as the last line of defense. And on the breakaway, Lemelman off the turnover. That's the type of thing that'll frustrate the coaches.
You want to come off a loss, right? Coming in being even sloppier, right? They had 9 turnovers against Hofstra.
The pressure, I think, is the way they really do want to play. There's a turnover created off a bad pass into the middle. Kings to George. One more for Starling. Book it. Pushing out, you can see Starling with the offense working, really grinding defensively as well. Soiree kind of backed away, and that's a layup for Mercyhurst.
Put ball pressure on Mercyhurst. You don't want him to be able to see over the defense and make a clear decision, but right there, it's a good job getting it by the rim and then being strong on the finish.
George to Kings. Air ball for 3, but Betsy's on it. Northeast Conference behind LIU and Central Connecticut. The Orange will also see Stonehill coming up later this month. And leaner in the lane doesn't go for Ivanauskas. The putback is there for Cameron Johnson.
Excuse me, defensive rebound.
Sadiq White on the back down. Missed badly, but William Kyle digs it out and draws a foul. Transitioning to Division I.
I mean, he's probably one of the best centers in the country as far as how he's playing right now.
That high pick and roll action. Offensive rebound, Kyle, and a putback. Anthony on the second chance, scores off the bank, his first points of the game.
And the first one, when he drove downhill and kicked it out.
Nate George trying to initiate. Anthony, scoop and score.
As a former player, when you get that first bucket to go down, you get to the rim, you see blood.
William Kyle gets that one hanging on the rim.
William Kyle, Sadiq White have been active on the boards. They just got to be able to finish.
The lob for Sadiq. Instead, it's a shot. Score it for Nate George. George playing off the ball, coughs it up. One-on-one, and Lemelman does Syracuse a favor. Open man, and the lay-in from Gamble.
7 here in the first half versus Mercyhurst. Look, no slight to Mercyhurst. Syracuse should overwhelm them, but you want to play a clean game, you want to execute, and you want to be...
Into Kadir Martin, but he spits it out. See if they try to go to late shot clock action here. Again, with their top player on the sideline, and good play. 31-18, the Orange in front. Mercyhurst basketball in a bit of a scoring drought. Bernie Blunt with an early 3, but nothing since until this one. Mercyhurst cuts to an 11-point game. Nate Kings hangs on the rim until William Kyle is there to clean it up. Half dozen points.
That's the right idea by Betsy. Good awareness. Kyle just has to make a better pass.
Lemelman rejected at the rim by Kyle.
playing strong and going up strong at the rim.
Weave action here for Starling to set up the three. Kiyan Anthony drains it from the sideline. Sadiq couldn't catch it cleanly.
And he missed Kiyan on the wing. That was an opportunity for his second three-pointer.
On the counter strike, it's numbers and an advantage for Mercyhurst. The end game situation from Saturday, and certainly will arise later in the year. George operating from the left. To Starling. Fakes, now fires. J.J. Starling. Ivanauskis. Foul line jumper is good for Jake Lemelman.
It doesn't matter who they're playing against. They're going to execute. They're going to get to that last option. Great find, great shot right there by Lemelman.
Good ball movement this time around the horn for George, and the drop off to Sadiq White. Pressure in place off the made basket. Again, that length of White really comes into play here. Starling has to recover to get in front. Block shot by Kyle covers up some misses. Just silly.
Should have threw it up in the air for him.
Blunt rings the bell and takes contact. Good play by Bernie Blunt. No slight.
No slight. Yeah, that was the third time.
With all due respect.
With all due respect.
Lemelman down the left alley. Lemelman really can score. Syracuse struggled a little against Hofstra's zone on Saturday. Bernie Blunt with a high glass shot. Ricochet comes down to Naithan George of the Cuse.
Cuse got lucky on that one. William Kyle has to see that.
And William Kyle up to the house top.
Syracuse should have been doing early and often. William Kyle, we've seen a lot of that this year.
Stumbling, Lemelman turns it over. Orange the other way, 3-on-1. Kyle again.
White has to be careful. I like his activity. He just has to be careful with his hands.
Left of the lane, little floater spit out by the rim. Tip doesn't go until Martin cashes in and draws the foul. Lemelman on the pull-up. Ivanauskis the rebound and the putback. And again, against the zone here where it calls upon that execution. Slashing drive, good bucket for J.J. Starling. One with just 8 points in the game. Off the screen, Blunt into the paint. Soiree got a hand on it to Blunt on the floor, and
they're matching the physicality. They're inside. Their bodies are dropping too, but they're still continuing to play and getting looks at the rim inside.
Soiree, his first field goal attempt. That's
a great word right there.
Lemelman in the open floor. Soiree bangs it against the window, scored for Lemelman.
A bit more physical, but he could be an elite defender as well.
It certainly has the frame for it. It's the physicality and the transition into the college game that are so important. To the foul line, to the dotted line, and right to the cup for Kiyan.
Just self-inflicted turnovers. That can't happen.
At least that one went out of bounds. That flare screen for Bernie Blunt, and he doesn't miss it. One bailed out by his teammate, Sean Lang, getting his first run. 5 on the timer. Tough shot for Blunt, deflected by Naithan George, and the Orange the other way. Anthony creating, draws the contact. That is what he can do.
I just love the creativity by Anthony. You see right here, he keeps the ball low, sweeps it through, plays through the contact.
Blunt looking to create against the freshman. Ivanauskis. He had Anthony on him and backed him down to the block to score. Changing the play call on the fly. Ivanauskis in deep. With the left denied. And Sadiq brings it up.
From the rim, I'm playing off of 2 feet and dunking on somebody's head.
Yeah, he could have really put it down on somebody there. Lemelman above the foul line. Lemelman can stroke it.
I like Lemelman's game. He has a good handle on it. He gets to his spots, and like you said, he can shoot the ball.
This time, Sadiq doesn't mess around. And here's Sadiq going pump.
Yeah, if I'm 6'9".
And Furman gets it back. Lemelman's got a pass. On the drop-off, a denial again. Denial at the rim. Yeah, close to 70, yeah.
68% from the field.
Kyle's in the low 70s right now. And only getting higher. 6 of 6 in this game. Get a little pressure put on here, and the Orange beat it easily up the near sideline. Sadiq created the contact there, and Lemelman doesn't miss. Hung right in late against Miami of Ohio, who's picked near the top of the MAC this year.
He's done a great job of just being poised, in control, taking care of the ball, and taking advantage of the opportunities. Matt, he's trying to get his NIL as well.
Bernie Blunt from Janesville. LIU was the unanimous preseason #1 pick in the NEC. And a good shot for Lemelman as he matches. See what he can do. You know, really a game against Binghamton is one where step back in the corner. Starling the long rebound for a Kings breakaway. Kings wins it. Puts the pedal down. Kings to the backboard and finish it. And so it's been only a couple in the second half. Lemelman, the key reason that Mercyhurst has kept it respectable. Good move to the basket for him, 23-point. Shot clock off now. That's good for Ivanauskis. And Naithan George will dribble it out. It's a 14-point margin in the end as Syracuse wins 76-62.